Okay, today I'm going to be showing you tap mode on the MC-202, the TB-303 and the TR-606. Now this has been requested a few times, so here we are, the tap mode video. Okay, on the 202 and on the 303 you have to have pitch note information in first. The timing on the 202 is manually entered when you enter in notes, so that's not a big deal. On the 303 you have to enter in the timing as well before you can start that. But with the 606, all you need to do is select a pattern, rather an instrument, and then use the tap. Now each machine has a tap button. That's here on the 202, here on the 303, and here on the 606. Okay, so let's make sure these are turned down. And let's start off with the 202. So the first thing I always do when I'm using the edit mode on the 202 is to press the play button first. So that way I know I'm at the top here on this little marker scale here. So when I press the edit button, I'll make sure I'm in the right edit mode that I want to be in. So okay, press play, press edit once, and first I have to put in some notes. There's actually some notes in there already when I was setting up. So let's get rid of that. So I press play, press edit, and I'm going to put in a C major scale. I press play again and I'll put it into cycle mode. So when I play this now, it just plays the C major scale in a very boring one after the other manner. So using the tap button, I can then change that. Instead of it being very linear, I can set it up rhythmically. And if I hold the button down longer, it'll play the note longer. If I press it quickly, obviously it'll play it a lot shorter. So to get into tap mode, first press play, press edit once, hold shift and press tap, keep the shift held down and press start. And now when you press start, you'll hear the metronome for 2 bars, and then you can start putting in your tap information with the tap button. So let's start it off. So when I press stop now and I press play again, you'll hear the pattern that I just tapped in. It's not very good, but you get the idea. Okay, so that's the 202 taken care of. Let's have a look at the 303. Okay, so first, I've actually got a pattern already on this one. So if I just press start, you can hear it's already got a pattern in there, and that's a 16-step pattern with some accents and slides. You know the coup. Okay, so if I start this one off, you have to be in edit mode, obviously, on the pattern you want to do in real-time tap mode. And once it's running, you press the pattern clear button, and the pattern will stop playing, and you'll hear the metronome, which is using the internal synth engine. And it can be a little bit confusing. I'll just let you hear that now. That's the metronome, but it's using the internal engine. As soon as you start tapping, it gets a bit confusing. So what I'm going to do is I've got a bass drum set up on this. It just makes life a little bit easier when you're entering the notes. You've got a decent metronome. And if you don't like it, you can actually press the pattern clear as many times as you want, and it will go back into real-time mode, and you can use the tap button again. So I'll just run through and do a few of them so you get the idea. Press the pattern clear, metronome starts, then you can use the tap button. And you get the idea. Now the 606 is the easiest one of the bunch. Basically, I mean, I like to set up a bass drum on this when I'm using real time, so that you've got a metronome, because this one, unlike the other two, doesn't have an internal metronome, or it doesn't have one using the synth engine. And it's always in tap mode. You don't have to press any buttons or anything. Every time you're in write mode, the tap mode is automatically running. And the way this one works is you just basically select the instrument you want to do, and instead of pressing the keys to put the steps in, you just press the tap button. So let's start that one off. Like I said, I've already got the bass drum going, and I'll just tap in some hats. So I'll select the closed hat, and I'll just tap it in. And I can do the same with the open hi-hat. With the cymbal. And with the toms. And the snare drum. And as you can see, that's got to be the simplest of the lot. So I'll just quickly recap here, so you know what to do. With the 202, you first enter in your pitch data. So you just press play, edit, put your notes in. Press play, edit again. Then you press shift. You keep it held. Press the tap button while keeping the shift held still, and press the start. And the metronome will start for 2 bars, and then you can use the tap key to put in your data. Now this is exactly the same if you were going to do real-time mode. If you press play, edit, shift, real-time, keep the shift held, press start, then it will start 2 bars of metronome again, and then you can actually play the keyboard in real time, if you can call it a keyboard. Anyway, with the 303, you're in write mode. You can have a pattern already made, or you can just put in your pitch mode and your timing data as normal. And when it's running, you press the pattern clear, and then you can tap in your notes rhythmically. And with the 606, it's the simplest of the lot. You just have to select your instrument that you want to use in tap mode. You start it off, and then you just press the tap key, and that's it. I mean, it's as simple as that. So that's the simplest one of the lot. And yeah, that's it for today. So if you're looking at this on YouTube, take a look at my blog. There's these kind of videos, all sorts of different bits and pieces, and a bit about modular synthesis now as well. And the address of that is www.dinsync.info. And yeah, that's it. So I'm out of here, and I'll catch you next time.